Welcome back, Dave. We're going to be talking about the Pixar Theory. I know it's kind of old, but we're going to do it, and we're going to do it right. Pixar Theory, I know the realm of what it means, because I watched Moana the other day in my science class. Here we have a screen recording on the PixarTheory.com, and it's, I guess, by Pixar? I don't know. Alright, so Brave, I guess 14th through 15th century Brave. It all starts with Merida discovering the will of the wisp magic. The magic turns her mother into a bear. This magic is why animals and objects, brooms and tools, behave like humans. Magic was utilized by a witch who mysteriously vanishes through wooden doors. Eventually, the magic from the will of the wisps would lead to the birth of superheroes, which I guess that brings us to The Incredibles. 1950s to 1960s. You know there's The Incredibles 2 coming out, by the way. I'm so happy about that. Superheroes maintain order in the world, but Buddy, a wannabe superhero, created two things for the dimness of superpower humans: self-serving AI bots like Eventually, toys started to absorb and draw their powers from zero-point energy, unseen energy that travels with wavelengths. Yeah, Toy Story. The first signs of life from toys are now present during Syndrome's technological powers. Toys, sentient objects, come up with a code of rules and learn that human love is another energy source upon which they thrive. These toys discover what happens to toys that are isolated from humans. Then from there we go to Toy Story 2 in 1999. The toys discover that it's dangerous for them to be isolated from humans. We start to see intimate objects question their purpose in life. For example, Jessie represents her own Emily for abandoning her. Resentment towards humans was not only carried by intimate object but as animals as well. So this when you go to Nemo, Finding Nemo. I wonder if this Finding Dory can be in the ocean. We find that fish are incredibly advanced. They have schools, network, and freeway systems. We discover that humans are polluting the earth and experimenting on them. Dory was one of the animals that was experimented on. That's why she's forgetful. There are signs of resentment growing towards humans for polluting the environment, stealing fish and changing them. Animals begin to be more courageous and carry more human characteristics. Then we go to Ratatouille. Ratatouille is one of my favorites. In Ratatouille, Remy discovers his love for cooking and displays human characteristics. Some of them are walking on his hind paws, cleansing his hands, reading and cooking. This is the first time we see personal interaction between human and animal, but is for the purpose of controlling humans. Remy controls Linguini because Linguini does not know how to do anything. We see that Remy's rat clan does not approve of the humans and feels both fear and hate towards them. And they have evidence. Oh, they have him like on his hands and cooking and stuff like that. So that's cool. Then from there you go to Toy Story 3. Toy Story 3 says 3 years later, toys have gone through a lot with humans. If you have seen the movie, you can tell why most of the toys have had it, being abused physically and emotionally by humans. Lots of the Hugging Bear straight up hates humans because they use and discard toy objects like they are nothing. He starts trying to take care of his own kind. That provides yet another reason why machine and objects alike are ready to take over. Now, Carl and Eddie write to Andy telling him to get rid of his toys because they know the toys and humans coming ahead and that's why they are planning on living in solitude. So if you don't know who Andy is, he is from Toy Story, and Eddie and Carl are from Up. So that's when you that's when you move to Up. Now Up was not one of my favorites. To me it was really sad. I don't know why. Carl forced to give up his house to a corporation, B&L, that's another big conspiracy, because they are expanding the city. This is foreshadowing. This corporation is the cause for polluting the earth and wiping out life in distant future. As a result of technology overreach, Carl discovers that animals can communicate with humans and sees the bitterness that they have. Charles Muntz effectively trains an army of dogs. This is the start of the tripping point between animals and humans. Years later, the uprising between animals and humans begins. Who do you think won that war? None of them. From there it goes to Cars. 2021, or okay, around somewhere in that area. This is like futuristic right here. So when animals rose up against the humans to stop pollution, the machines saved the humans and they won the war. However, since the machines help humans win, it tripped the balance on the earth. Machines B&L had to send the remaining humans off into space on a ship called Exonium. All of the other machines were left behind to populate the world and run things. But how do we know cars took over Earth and not another planet? Two cars go to Europe and Japan, which shows that the same planet as all the other Pixar movies. It shows that there are no humans throughout the world. The world at this time ends with an energy crisis, as all the energy used for cars. Ananol Corporation was using green energy as a cyclist for fuel war in order to turn cars away. Could have been used swiftly like Ananol was run by B&L, which eventually polluted the whole earth due to its use of oil. The whole world becomes unfit to sustain life.